You are now entering the horror section.
Hello, and welcome back to the Horror Sanctum podcast, where we are recording live from the basement of the Silver Shamrock Novelties Factory, where I got this cool shirt at the gift shop. It was a good deal. But anyways, I'm Jay with John, Kellen, and TJ. Also, happy Halloween week. 3 more days till Halloween. Halloween, Halloween. 3 more days till Halloween. Silver Shamrock.
You gotta think of the London Bridge is falling down theme.
Right. So
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
and spoiler, no Halloween episode here is complete without our pal, Mr. Vito Trigo. Vito, welcome back.
Hey, bitches! Ah!
Welcome back. So I had only saw this movie the first time, maybe 2021. It was not when I was little. Yeah, I avoided it. I knew what it was. I had seen the clips like everybody else. Holy shit, Kellen's mask just scared me. I just saw it. I had seen the clips. I knew what it was. It was one of those things where, being a diehard Michael Myers fan, I never wanted to watch it. And I finally was like, I just need to watch this. And I watched it, and yeah, it's a great movie. It's an awesome movie. It's not directed by Carpenter, but it feels like a Carpenter film because it's the whole crew, right? It's I forget, Tommy Lee Wallace directs, Dean Cunny does the cinematography. So it feels like a Carpenter movie, you know.
Well, Carpenter also produced it with Deborah Hill, didn't they?
They
produced
did.
it, yeah.
And he wrote the script some. And the thing about Carpenter is like, you never can tell how much he's telling the truth about directing, because he always helps his buddies out. So he might have even directed some of this movie.
Sorry, I'm gonna derail for a second, just because on Facebook today I saw, and I don't know if it's truly John Carpenter or not, but someone shared a post where he said, tweeted or whatever, he's like, "What the fuck is Letterboxd?"
That sounds like something he would say as he spoke about it.
John Carpenter is that grumpy uncle that everybody dislikes, you know.
But yeah, I mean, it's the thing about this movie is what's happened in recent years is you have a lot of people who are coming out saying this is their favorite. And you have a lot of people who say that this is better than all the other Halloween movies. And I don't really think that's fair, because this is a great movie. It's not a Halloween movie. This is Season of the Witch. The biggest problem that they made was, when they made this movie, they wanted to use the Halloween name to make money on an anthology. But the problem is you already had established 2 movies. And it was like, rightfully so, people of the franchise were like, why would you randomly go anthology with number 3, right? So it was a mistake on their end that they thought would pay off. But I think, if this movie came out now as Season of the Witch, or even then, I think it would be praised. I think people would love it. I don't think anybody would have any issue with it, I mean, Tom Atkins is great in it. He's a perv. He's
you hearing my groans? You hearing my groans? I was like, wait a second here.
He's a doctor. He's got kids. He decides to go on a weekend trip and bang some girl randomly instead of
hold on here.
With his kids.
Technically, he got consent, but Homeboy should have asked that pivotal question first. The whole what's her age?
Right.
You don't ask that in bed after the deed is done, Holmes. You ask that beforehand.
Yeah, I
also didn't ask if she was a robot or not, which I guess in 1982 wasn't the question you asked yet.
Yeah, and so,
well, if that was the case, then it would not matter. It doesn't matter at all. Right? Nothing matters.
I will say the whole robot thing. I listened to the commentary on that part today, and it is confirmed that so Tommy Lee Wallace said that she turned into a robot later. She was not started as one.
That was what I always thought.
And it's because she didn't talk. So if you notice, when he gets her, she's not speaking. And then all of a sudden she kind of turns on him in the car. He was saying that in his mind, it's kind of like she's been rebooted. So she's booting up. She's not like attacking yet. And then like as she's driving, he says something, and then it like triggers her to attack. It's far-fetched, but I think that was the idea, at least.
Now, I was privy to the fact that she was a robot before I watched the movie. So that she becomes a robot. It was mentioned. And so when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, this bitch is a robot. This bitch is a robot. The whole time I'm watching the movie, like, she's a robot. And then in bed, she's like, I'm older than I look. And I was like, how old is this robot? How old is this robot? What are you talking
Right.
about? I was like,
Yeah.
also like the directive of like, okay, I don't want to give up my stuff. I'm saying when
No.
she said that line, I was like, wait, how old are you? How old are these robots? What's the deal with this?
Yeah, I mean,
I got a lot of questions, man. I got questions.
I think it's I don't think even if you put it in the Halloween franchise, no, it's not the best Halloween movie. I think that's a little over much. I would say like one is obviously better, but it's a great movie standalone. I just think that it never got a fair shake, and people like to compare it. And you know how it is now. Like everybody now, the big thing now is everybody wants to say that this is their favorite Halloween movie, and they want to say that Friday the 13th Part 5 is their favorite Friday the 13th movie. Which as a kid, that never was the thing. Anybody as a kid, nobody as a kid loved this. Everybody as a kid hated it, and it wasn't until they were older they liked it. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there that liked this as a kid, but overall, yeah, it's an A+ for me. I love the music, I love the scene, the vibe, I love all of it. So
Doesn't he reuse a song from Halloween?
he does.
I
Yeah.
thought so towards the end. I'm like,
Well,
wait a minute.
well, no, they do it in a clever way where they turn the TV on. Like he's locked in the room, they turn the TV on, and it's Halloween. And
Yeah.
it's, literally, it's like plays over the old dude saying "Happy Halloween." It's like and it's just playing the theme. I had to question myself because when I was like, "Wait, am I watching Halloween? What the fuck's going on?" So I had it on my headphones for a second. I was like, "What is going on?" But yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what else did you think about it there, Vito?
What do you think about what? I don't know. Don't come to me.
No, it's
I
your
got-
turn, my friend. Your turn.
I want K Dog to go. Get K Dog go.
Okay, let's let Kellen go so you can rip them apart afterward. That'd be fun.
I'm a counter hitter. I'm a counter hitter.
So I've never seen this movie until today, and I'm so glad I hadn't. This movie was not good. I looked on IMDb. It was 5.2 on IMDb, 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. There's so many flaws in this movie. It
You know, Halloween Kills has a better score than this movie, right?
That's because people are idiots. And you can come at me, bro. If you think Halloween Kills is a good movie, come at me in the comments.
Come at you right now. Come at you right now. All right. I love them. I love Halloween Kills.
That's what they should have. Well, see, they didn't say the entire phrase. It's Halloween Kills the franchise, and that's what they were doing with those movies. Anyway, the reason there's so many reasons this movie doesn't work for me. The main one, I get it's mystical powers from Stonehenge that he somehow magically transported there with robot human people or whatever.
Hey, dog, he's a
he got
rich
the
white
stones.
dude. He's a rich white dude with lots of money, and he has no family and
You
no
couldn't-
extracurricular activities.
There's
He stole
40,000 TVs, and you
Stonehenge.
couldn't have one say Stonehenge has magically disappeared. You couldn't have one news report.
Actually, they did.
mentioning-
They did. They did. It's on one of the news reports.
It must have not been important enough for
It's
me
a
to care
blip.
because I was
It
watching
is
this
a
movie.
blip
and
on
I
the
did not
screen,
notice
baby.
it.
It's a blip on the. I had to be like, really? You couldn't just stay on focus a little bit longer? It's a blip. It's
To
a
be
fucking
fair,
blip.
the best part of this movie is when they show Michael Myers on the TV screen and then it cuts away. That was a great scene. I really enjoyed that one. But my biggest issue is the kids being possessed and killing their parents was right there. That would have been so much more terrifying than the mask just shrinking on their head. You need Stonehenge to unlock your warlock powers to be able to kill these kids by the mask rotting on their head and then snakes and bugs coming out. Like
but
that
that goes back to like Celtic origins though, where they had to do sacrifices. and
You
stuff.
should have explained that in the movie you made if that was the direction you're going to go, because the average person has no effing clue what any Celtic origins
That's
are.
fair. That's fair because when I
That is
first saw
fair.
it the first time, I'm like, why are these snakes and bugs coming out? But I was also a lot younger, but still, it is something that not common
You're
knowledge.
using a computer chip in a button, which is honestly the most fantastic scene in the whole movie is when that laser shoots that woman in the mouth and then it shows her later and she's like, and her whole face has just been obliterated in the mouthful area. Like a
Damn,
woman at a
K-Dog.
P. Diddy party. Anyway, so that was the only part of the movie that I was like, oh, that's really cool. I was expecting these masks to take over the kids. That was what they were building up towards up until the moment they showed you. Not just kidding. It's going to be snakes and bugs crawling out of their face, and their parents are going to be horrified. And then the snake grabbing the guy's pant leg, like that was dumb. The fact that he would bring the store owner who was was this his end game the whole time, was to make these was to make a big enough company that eventually he could make these masks to kill everybody's kids by consumerism. A deeper message that I wasn't getting.
All right, now I'm with you right there. I had to go like salvage 3 different videos of 3 motherfuckers talking about what his agenda was.
It was a sacrifice for Sam Hain.
Well, no,
that was the whole point.
The motherfucker was pissed. He was pissed that people were just trick or treating.
Well, no, it was
a
sacrifice. That he explained that in his speech. He was talking about every so long we have to reset things. Like that was his whole thing.
Except he actually pronounced it right because he actually was Irish. Samhain.
Yeah. British, Irish. We don't want to get into that ballpark. All right, but
it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. It was so dumb. I had to put on the Michael Myers mask just to remind everybody what Halloween should have been.
But K-Dog, rich white dude, no hobbies. Shit happens.
Well, apparently rich white dude with no friends either, because all of his compadres were jail robots. That they didn't even explain how those were made.
If only there was a Diddy back then, he could be having freakouts, and there would be no issues. He'd be too busy.
They were probably filled with baby oil. These monsters, because when he punched that one in the stomach, it was just goo everywhere.
Exactly.
Just like a P Diddy party. But this movie was just like, there was so many moments where it had the possibility of being good, and then it took a right turn down. Fuck you, Bill. For the general audience. I mean, up to the point of, like John said, they used the name to try to sell tickets. That was obviously a money grab, because this movie has absolutely nothing to do with quote unquote Halloween. I get that they wanted to make.
Wait, that's because John Carpenter and Deborah Hill had no interest in doing more Michael Myers movies.
Right, but they used the name Halloween, and obviously that's, people are going to expect Michael Myers, and when he's on a basically a tiny little picture tube TV, and it's just a clip from the Halloween classic. Like, stroke your own ego a little bit. The one part that absolutely cracked me up, that was not intentionally funny, is when Tom Atkins is hearing the rich white dude explain his entire plan, and his acting in that scene is so incredibly horrible. He's so good in the rest of the movie, and then that one scene, it's like he's almost in the middle of having an orgasm while the guy's talking to him. It was such a weird acting choice. His face this is his face during that scene. He's like, like that was his. I was like, is he trying to show everybody his O face? I mean, he's been trying to have sex with every woman in this movie.
Now it's going to be a real without any context.
Right.
I'm going to cut just that part. And things got weird this week.
Are you talking about Tom Atkins?
Yeah, Tom Atkins.
Don't dare disparage Tom. No, we're not disparaging Tom Atkins.
Do not do that. Don't make me go there. John, don't. He's just a man. He's just a man, John. He's just a man.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to.
He's never going to come on that show.
He's just a man.
He was great in the rest of the film, but it was just such a terrible acting.
K-Dog, I have a theory about that, because the parents were acting kind of funny during the whole, like, so I was wondering if he was kind of getting a trance, because the parents were kind of like in a weird trancey state too. I mean, so
maybe
that's my justification, because I also had a weird reaction to that thing, like, what the fuck is Tom doing?
Maybe there's an off-screen blowjob robot that accidentally got released and he didn't know about, and so they never showed it, because they was like, oh, this is 1982, we can't go that deep.
Damn,
you've become a potty mouth, bro. You have become a potty mouth on this show.
I mentioned Diddy a few times, and you're just kind of like, liquid.
We're never getting John Carpenter after this rant. Never.
Right?
If my Mickey Mouse bit for Mousetrap doesn't get us canceled, nothing's going to get us canceled.
That's actually true. That might get us sued by someone.
We're going to hell.
But this movie just did it. Just there was just so much. What happened to Ellie? We talked about that in the text message earlier. They never really explained it. You had to go deep dive into it to even figure out what really happened to her. Like there's so much. I mean, this is an hour and 39-minute movie. You either cut some stuff so that you don't have to explain it, or you make it an hour and 45 and do a little bit more explaining of some of the other things so it makes sense. So you know why snakes or bugs are crawling out of their head, why Ellie turned into a robot.
I'm gonna be a little mean, and I didn't think that she did a great job. Once I found out that she turned into a machine, I thought she was a machine the whole time, and that was her acting choice, and that these were all the hints that she was a robot. And so in my head, I'm like, oh, wait. That wasn't planned?
Yeah, there was a moment where I thought it would have been better if the roles had been swapped. Like it would have made more sense if Tom Atkins was the shop owner, and that he runs into the doctor who's like holding a mask saying they're gonna kill us all. Like it made more sense. Like this is a drunk, womanizing doctor with a horrible ex-wife. Because that's another thing. Like they didn't make you empathize with anybody. Like his wife was she was like that voice. I can't even remember what in Christmas Story when she's telling the other mom the word that Ralphie heard from her son. What? On the other end of the phone. That's what his wife sounded like when he was, honey, I'm not going to be able to make it. Well,
like, K-Dog,
she's the worst. No wonder he drinks. But then he's trying to sleep with every woman in the movie. I'm like, well, he's the worst too. I hope he dies.
K-Dog, did you recognize the ex-wife?
No, not at all.
She was Nancy from Halloween.
Oh no!
Who was the wife of Tommy Lee Wallace?
Yeah. To be fair, I was watching it on my phone, so it's super tiny screen. I can't. Really
and Tommy Lee Wallace was Michael Myers in the closet scene with Jamie Lee Curtis in the first film.
Well, there's some silver lining.
Every motherfucker says that they were Michael Myers on fucking Halloween. Like 5 different people. Every motherfucker like that was me. That was me. That was me. That was me. I was like, fuck. It could have been me for fuck's sake. If we're gonna keep talking about this, I'm sorry. Every time the whole like I was Michael Myers. I was like, I don't give a fuck at this point. Nick Castle's Halloween fucking Michael Myers.
There's like 5 or 6 of them in that first.
I know.
Movie.
That's why I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I just there's just so, like I said, this is one of those movies that just like it's like a batter in baseball. You just so close on so many pitches. It's a game of inches, and they just missed the mark so many times in this movie where they could have gone in a direction that made more sense. Like the fact that he's sleeping with this young girl so quickly, like that doesn't happen in real life when you're an alcoholic that is obviously trying to sleep with every woman he comes in contact with.
Have you not seen his other films?
The Fog.
He does it all the time.
Is it like a writer in his script, like or in his contract? Like
that was 1980s Tom Atkins.
Wait, wasn't Tom Atkins' wife the lady who gets the laser in the face?
I don't know.
Oh, that was another shop owner. She was in the hotel room next to them.
Yeah.
The motel room, and she was messing with the sign and found the computer chip. Like I said, it doesn't make sense. If this is witch voodoo, why do you have computer chips?
Oh, I thought you meant like his real wife. I see.
No. I think it was his real wife in real life.
I don't know.
Which is so weird.
It's pretty bold of him to have a sex scene with a teen girl in the room next to his wife.
It's like, baby, let's get paid.
You don't know what she was into either.
So what are we doing in this scene? Well, I'm going to be having sex with this 18-year-old girl, and you're going to get shot in the mouth with a laser since you won't do anything else with it. Anyway, I didn't enjoy this film. Wasn't for me. Whoever's next can go.
I don't remember who's next. Am I next? Is John next?
I already went. Yeah.
It's either Vito or TJ. Vito was supposed to go before me, but
John's next. He's going to get another round.
Oh, what? No, I already went. No, I went first. What?
Vito can go finish up.
Okay. Now, I saw this movie. I saw this movie years ago, like when I was a boy, and I had the same reaction a lot of people had, where I was like, "Where's Michael? Where's Michael? Where the fuck is Michael?" You know. And so, like, I opted out of it and came back to it when I was like in college. Tried to watch it, couldn't get through it again. I just wasn't. It was just so, and when I watched it again today, because I tried watching it last night with the wife, but I fell asleep. and not because of the movie's qualities, but because I just fell asleep. And so I watched it today, and I was like, oh, I know why. This movie is such a fucking tease because there's so many things, there's so many vibes about it that it just screams Halloween. It screams Michael Myers because it feels so close to Halloween 2 in a way that I'm like, what the? It just feels so like Michael Myers should come around this corner. Michael Myers should be walking down this hallway. You know, especially in the hospital sequence in the beginning of the movie. I was like, this feels so familiar to me. It's just so I think that the movie has like a big uphill battle for me because watching it the entire time, I just wanted to be like, I just kind of want to put on Halloween. Any old Halloween will do. You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry, any Halloween would do?
any Halloween will do. Any
Over
Halloween
this one?
will. No, not because I didn't like it. It just kept making me want. It's like because the movie was
Oh,
flavored.
just scratching that itch. All right.
Yeah, even the way that it's so close because of the same film crew as the first two movies.
It's the same cinematography. It looks like Halloween 1 and 2.
You're describing why it should be called Season of the Witch.
Yes,
that's exactly why.
Well, no, but I feel like it goes past even the title. I feel like they should have taken an entirely different approach to this film. Even like the composing, even though it's different from the main themes, it still is very similar. Even the way they use sound, it's like so the ambiance is so there where you're like,
Did John Carpenter do the music because it has a very strong Halloween feel as well? It was John Carpenter style music.
It was him and
Alan Howarth.
Yeah,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like they used the synth, but it felt such like a John Carpenter film, and because like it's like what you were saying, John, because they did the part 2 was a Michael Myers film. Mm-hmm. That there's just so much established and so much tied to those first films that this movie has an uphill battle, you know, and it's a little unfair to judge it to the other movies because Halloween 1 and 2 is a slasher flick. And this is, they say pod movie, but it's really it's a supernatural flick. It's a supernatural flick. It's not really a pod movie. It's only a pod movie because of the sci-fi element to it. But it's really sci-fi. It's really supernatural, you know, because he's a warlock or witch.
It's a pod movie in the same way that the third part of the Cornetto trilogy, At World's End's a pod movie.
Yeah, but I mean, but there's so many things. I mean, like. The two things that I really like about the movie are the villain and Tom Atkins, you know, because the villain, I didn't like him, but I'm not supposed to like him. But I also was intrigued by him and I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to learn more, you know, which is, I think is probably the hallmark of like, you know, you want like, that's a good quality to have. I'm not bored by him. I want more of him. And Tom Atkins kept saving me, even though the whole, what's your age thing in bed thing. That was the part where I was like, hey, come on, Tom. I don't know. But then I have to question, like, would I have had that same thought when I was a young boy? It would have just kind of gone over my head and I wish I would not have thought about it, you know? So it's like, yeah, who knows? But
it's not as bad as the boyfriend in Halloween 1 talking about ripping Lindsay, a 7-year-old's clothes off.
Rewatch, that does, you know, that does go like, yo, what's up, Bob? I don't worry about you. I don't feel bad about you getting stabbed. It's like, and Kaya, what the fuck are you doing over there?
What are you talking about?
You keep moving around the fucking Art the Clown head. Keep him fucking still.
He's worn 8 different costumes off screen.
I keep looking over there. I keep seeing that fucking head move. I'm like, stop making the fuck. It's dark in this room, and that fucking creepy shit is scaring me. Fuck it. Stop it. Jesus. But I was just so back and forth, and then like there was just so many questions. I had so many. I think I had the problem of just like asking questions too much, which I think is asking questions that I wanted answers for. Like it didn't further the story where I was like, oh, what happens next? What happens next? Where's this lead to? I didn't get the answers that I was like thinking in my head, and that was the problem. But there was so many things about it that I liked, and so many things that I was like. I just wanted it to be more different from Halloween 1 and 2, and I felt like it used the skeleton And even if you look at like the advertising, the night no one comes home, it's like, maybe we should not have used like the similar tagline too, you know. But Tom Atkins, that ending saves it for me. That ending alone, because I watched it today, when he's just like, the third channel thing is just, like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. That I got emotional, man.
That ending is
emotional.
done really well. That
I got
ending is done really
emotional.
well.
I got emotional. Hey, look, I even brought him back. Look at this. He's saying something positive, y'all. But I'm saying, but
He was
I
trying
got
to save all of humanity's children.
I got emotional. Actually, I do like that they added that scene where he's like talking to the wife. He's like, take the mask off. You know what I'm saying? And then he's just being super petty on the fuck. I love the subtitle. If you're watching with subtitles, she's being extraordinarily fucking petty. She's like, you're just jealous. You're just jealous because I would be like, bitch, they're gonna fucking die. Take the fucking masks off now.
He was trying to save the kids while trying to impregnate every woman he possibly could as well, just in case he needed to repopulate the planet.
Well, he's just
That was it. He was trying to repopulate the planet.
He's just setting up franchises, man. That's all it is. But but the ending saves it for me. It makes me just like what K Dog was talking about, like that the killing the parents thing. Now, I had an idea like where the parents would be like catatonic, and like you see like the fear in their eyes, like part of the spell is that they're frozen, and that the kids could end up just killing them as like they're this fear in their eye, and they're just kind of just like frozen as their kids are killing them. So they got to like actually watch the kids kill them, because think about it: if a kid's coming at you, you can fight off a fucking kid, but if you're frozen still and the kids are coming at you, it's like you're just stuck there and watching your kid kill you, which is fucked up. So if you have the horrible, and that's why I was like, because I got that idea because of what Atkins like, freaking out. I was like, is the spell going over him too? I was like, well, what if they were frozen and then the kids come over there and kill them, and then the head started going the whole like, so
I don't know, that opening scene in Children of the Corn a couple years later, they didn't have much of a fight against all the kids with the farm implements.
There's bitches and then there's people that fight. Okay, we fight. TJ, we fight. If they're little kids, we knock them in the fucking head. They come at me with a knife. Oh, I'm sorry, kid. So you gotta learn a tough lesson. You come at me with a knife, you're getting knocked the fuck out. Not like, oh no, baby, no.
Right.
No.
Well, I have a complicated relationship with this film. I grew up for about. Yeah, I probably first watched this when I was around 12, and it was only because I loved the first two films. They showed them on cable all the time, and I would just rent. At that point, there was only, I think, 6 movies out, and I would just rent them every Halloween and watch them in sequence. The first time I watched Halloween 3, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just the next Halloween sequel that I'd never seen before, and I was super bummed and disappointed when I realized it had no continuity with Michael Myers' story, because I was also super confused not having watched 4, 5, and 6 yet. Well, I knew he's like on the cover of all those, so he's in those movies. Why isn't he in this movie? So because I love Michael Myers so much, I probably spent 12 years of my life hating this film just because. And in fact, after a couple of years of watching them in sequence with part 3, I would just cut out part 3 and I'd just jump from 2 to 4 and save a movie before I'd go to sleep, I would rediscover this film probably around 2002, 2003. There was a box set that come out in the UK, a DVD box set. And I had region unlocked illegally my DVD player following some internet codes I found on the internet, and had this cool Region 2 box set. And there wasn't a good version of Halloween 3 until like in the last 10 years that had any kind of special features. But on this box set, it had a couple film historians, had a UK film historians, had a audio commentary for part 2 and for part 3. That was also the only special feature for part 2 up until about 10 years ago. Which is why I bought this box set for like $100 back in the day.
TJ.
Yeah. So some of the stuff that they talked about helped me gain some appreciation for the film. And once I realized, what they were really trying to do with the anthology concept, John touched on it. If they had done that after part 1, and not followed up with another Michael Myers movie. I think it was possible. There were a lot of successful TV horror anthology series in the 70s, 80s, your Night Galleries,
You
your
like Creep
Twilight
Show?
Zone reboots, your Creep Show,
Yeah.
what the films, film
Yeah.
anthologies were starting to really kick off again with Creep Show around the same time. I think it could have possibly been a thing. Having a Halloween different themed movie and just calling it Halloween and it being a standalone thing. But like we've all acknowledged, it just wasn't possible after Michael Myers become such an iconic figure. Even though they really tried, like John Carpenter really tried to kill him off in what was at that point in time the hottest burn ever done with a stuntman. Uh, with Dick Warlock as Myers.
Did he
the end
make
of
like a
that
Yo
part
Mama
two.
joke to him or something? Is that why he burned him so bad?
Oh, listen to those fucking crickets.
Shame.
You should method act the art character, I think, for the rest of this.
Dick Warlock is in this movie. He's one of the robots.
Yeah, he's the robot that
Yeah.
kills that guy and like scrunches his face in the hospital bed. And then burns
Gotta be the
himself.
worst
He really
warlock
likes
to be,
burning
though, right?
himself alive.
Of all
I
the
guess.
warlocks to be, a Dick Warlock would be the worst.
You got me on that one. That was
I'm
pretty
done.
good.
I'm done.
That was pretty good. You got that.
I don't know, K-Dog. If you ever met the man, you probably would not say that to him.
Yeah.
I
Well, he
imagine
just
he's
lives
dead
up the
by
road
now.
in Tennessee.
Oh, does he? Oh, he's still alive? Okay.
Yeah, he's still alive.
I'll
You'll
see
see him
myself out.
probably eventually
Be like-
someday. Anyway, I rediscovered this film like in college in my early 20s, and I gradually started liking it because at that point I'd seen kind of all the invasion. I'd gone on a kick where I watched all the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, multiple, retakes on that series, and I think it lives more in that sci-fi kind of vein. It's not quite a pod people movie. It's doing enough original things. Yeah, it doesn't tie the pieces together super well. If you know a little bit about Celtic mythology and paganism and like Stonehenge and stuff, you can kind of see what they're going for. They just try and cram about 20 pounds of shit into a 5-pound bag. And I think if Tom Atkins is not in this movie, it doesn't work. Just because his charisma, his whatever he was doing in the 80s in every horror film, just non-PC, totally defying conventions that wouldn't work for other characters, but somehow he makes it work. I think without him, it don't work.
There's something about Tom Atkins where you just want to go on the journey with him.
Yeah, you want to get a beer with that guy.
Yeah.
You might not want to be best friends with him because he's probably pretty sleazy and he's seen some shit in his life and he's been the perpetrator of most of it. He probably has some pending lawsuits against him at any random time. But
wait, you're making him sound like he's Diddy. He ain't Diddy.
Well, he wasn't, diddling. Well, it's pending whether he was diddling underage people or not, I guess.
Oh Lord.
Anyway,
Lord.
Back on track. I think it's interesting what has come, like the cult's rediscovery of this film that's really only happened in the last 10 years. Like I would say I was more in the camp of I actually like this movie as a standalone movie. It's a fun movie. I kind of put it hand in hand as a double feature I watch a lot of times with Night of the Creeps, another great Tom Atkins vehicle from the 80s. I think as a 1-2 punch of Atkins, it's a great double feature. And I do that sometimes. But
that's a good
it's
one.
not a Halloween movie. It's a Tom Atkins weird sci-fi murdering a bunch of kids movie. I mean, it's original and it's unique, and I think people have come along to it who don't have the history of it being, spoiling a franchise and being the one outlier for so long.
I sometimes feel that the people that like want to like gas it up a little bit, they talk about like they're killing kids and they kill kids. Like, what? They kill one kid horrifically. They kill one kid, and then they present the idea of killing a lot of kids.
Yeah. Well,
You
they
know,
didn't have the
that-
budget to kill that many kids, right?
I mean,
They had to have
you know,
snake wranglers and all kinds of stuff just to kill the one kid.
I'm just saying. I mean, when people like they talk about they kill a lot of kids, I'm like, they kill one. They kill
Well,
one.
at the end, and here's the other thing too, is like he's calling local individual TV stations. There's no way he could have called every major market where this thing was showing. He maybe saved a few towns, maybe a state, but he didn't save like the whole country.
Well, I googled. Apparently, in the actual story about this, he didn't save anybody. in the story, apparently that the kids
They
get
all
possessed
they all
and
flip the
die.
channel 3.
Yeah, they. I mean, everybody dies apparently, other than him. He apparently witnesses the.
See, that's the ending that I like. I like the bleak. Oh, all the children die in the end off camera, and he's horrified at it, and he
TJ.
gets.
This just in: TJ hates
TJ.
kids.
TJ.
Well, I mean, that's a unique ending, especially for 1982, right?
Well, I remember I got a little emotional when the kid's head started melting, you know, because I thought that was going to be the be all. But then when the things came out and killed everybody, that's why I was like, they could have gone farther with that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
So-
witchcraft. You know,
Yeah.
we don't know how this weird Celtic Stonehenge sci-fi robot witchcraft works. We don't even know how they got Stonehenge there. Much
Well-
less how are they mining small pieces of Stonehenge enough to put
Did you s-
into a button
hey.
in every mask that they were making.
I would
thousands
say-
of.
TJ, you saw it. They were doing this. Kick,
Right.
kick. They're just scraping it. They just
Well-
scrape. They want the particles. They want the little bit. They want the dust.
Here's the thing. It's a ridiculous movie, so in that sense you can live by ridiculous storytelling.
Right.
That's my logic is when you're in a ridiculous world.
It's a B sci-fi movie.
Yeah, you just have to have fun with it. You can't like nitpick little things like that because you've already established this is fucking absurd.
Well,
Oh, in
Yeah,
that
so
case,
so
it's
once
absurd,
you
right.
establish that and
Yeah,
you're
of
along
course.
for the ride and you
Right.
can have fun with the tongue-in-cheek silliness of Tom Atkins and the bad guy from RoboCop.
he was
It's
not the
a fun
bad guy.
movie.
He was not the bad guy. He was the old man. Remember, he's all like, "What's your name, kid?" Murphy.
Oh, that's right. He was the good guy.
Yeah.
Dad from that '70s show was one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then Ronnie
Ronnie
what-
Cox.
There you
Kurtwood
go.
Smith was the main bad. Ronnie Cox was the
There
guy
you
that goes
go.
out the
Thank
window.
you, John.
You're right.
You know, he played Dick. Yeah.
Dick Jones.
Well,
He's good at dick.
All right, so let's go around. What would everybody give RoboCop?
5.
That's a
5
5.
out of
That's a
5.
10.
And RoboDoc
You know what?
is a 5
That's
too.
a 10.
I'm gonna give that movie a 6 out of 5. It's so good.
The first
I'll
RoboCop's
go higher than
is
5.
at best a 2.
What?
What?
The fuck up.
What?
No, I love the first RoboCop.
All
4
right,
and a
we
half.
got to get back. Okay, I was like, we got to get back. They're making another series of it, so that'd be fun.
Awesome.
But there we go, RoboCop rant.
All right, I'm done. Jay, go.
All right, so you guys pretty much have touched on everything. This is one of those movies. It's cool to love. It's cool to love. That's where we are as a society. This would have been an A24 movie if it came out today. You know, the first,
But no rapey qualities though.
the first. Don't watch The Front Room with Brandy. That's A24 because it is a fucking piece of trash. But I digress. Sorry, Brandy, love you. But The Front Room, it's dude, it's so bad. But the first time I watched this movie, I didn't like it clearly because, like we've said, they screwed up and made Halloween 2. They did it to themselves. I love the idea of the anthology series. I love American Horror Story. Everybody loves American Horror Story. Like these anthology ideas can work. So you already have, you have this Michael Myers character. He's scary as hell. And then like, well, we can make some more money but I have all these other ideas. So what they should have done is just taken the Halloween part off completely, call it Season of the Witch, and it's a completely different film. It probably gets liked more. The tomato scores go up, but it's kind of like a fine wine too. Like you watch it, you're like, I don't like this, but you don't like it because Michael Myers exists in your head and they have Halloween in front. That's why people don't like it. As you get older, as we have, you watch it again, you find, besides some of us, you find some appreciation for it. But again, Kellen just watched it for the first time, right?
Yes.
I would have assumed you wouldn't have liked this because it's odd. It's a hard movie to love, but I do love it. It's fun. It's quirky. I don't understand the rules.
It's the redheaded stepchild of the original series.
Yeah, the jury's still out on if Tom Atkinson banged a robot. We don't know that for sure. I would like to see like a copy come out where there's commentary and he talks about that.
Buddy, I would love this movie a lot more if she was a robot the whole way through.
Yeah. And
that's all I gotta say.
You take Tom out, and it's not as enjoyable because we're familiar with him. We love his work. He just plays that character so well. So there's a lot of little factors that go in. Also, was it a robot or was it a toy, like an animatronic? Because when they're in the lab or whatever, there's those. It's like the Native Americans playing drums. It's like a wind-up thing.
Well, the guy that made him was a toy maker. Yeah. So I guess
like
they're
Silent
all
Night,
toys.
Deadly Night 5.
Yeah.
But they did it better. I never thought I would say that in a sentence, but that's probably my second or third favorite film of that franchise is number 5 with our buddy Brian. I don't know. That's just the biggest hangup. And that's when you talk to anybody, like, it's not Halloween. It's not a Halloween movie. No, it's not. It's not. But John Carpenter or whoever's grand plan, like every year we're going to release a movie called Halloween, but the story's going to be completely different, would have been fantastic. It's what the VHS movies kind of do now these days, except there's 4 or 5 mini stories. I don't know. I would have eaten that shit up, but I'm glad you, TJ. That was another thing I had is like the snakes and bugs. So we found the explanation for that. So that makes me like it just a little bit more too, because I just thought it was just so random. I'm like, is it rotting? But where are they? Robot bugs? Robot snakes? I don't know. So when you go into it blind and you see these things, you see the name, you see these snakes, you see Tom Atkinson, maybe not banging a robot. All these things go in your head and you're like, this is weird. This is weird. This is not what I signed up for. 20 years later, you watch it again, and you're like, this is insane. I love it. And that's what happened to me. That's all I have. Any last thoughts before we do our rankings?
The only other thing I wanted to bring up was the megaphone announcer in the town. That was Jamie Lee Curtis. So it was only like a couple of times, but yeah.
And Tommy Lee Wallace is the voice of the commercial doing the jingle.
Kellen, have you seen any other Tom Atkins movies? Do you remember meeting him?
I remember meeting him. He was super nice, standing outside the venue.
And then he like talked to us, like we were just walking up. He's like, "Hey,
guys. Who knew everybody would be on his diet?"
K-Dog.
Get out, sir.
That's better than your joke.
Wait, you haven't seen The Fog?
No.
Have you seen Escape from New York?
We can't do this. We can't.
Also, no.
We can't.
Vito, you're gonna blow up. You can't.
If you have to ask Vito, just assume the answer is.
You see, the thing is, it's in these moments, K-Dog, because sometimes your points are really solid, but the fact that you haven't seen shit just makes me think that you don't know shit.
Definitely,
are you Pacinoing me? Are you Pacino?
I'm fucking De Niroing you.
De Niroing me. You're De Niroing me.
I can go Pacino. Oh, I'm gonna take a head right up your ass. Yeah.
Kellen grades on a curb, but we also want to stomp his head into that curb sometimes.
Oh,
damn.
Grades on a curb.
Oh,
not even the phrase.
All right, we'll go around, do our rankings, close up shop. I don't remember what I've given it in the past, but after watching it again for this episode, I think I'm sticking with a 3. It's a movie I really enjoy. I've made Lindsay watch it. And, people can't say, oh, well, I haven't seen the first Halloween. Doesn't matter, surprisingly. So I give it a 3. It's a movie I watch maybe every other year just for funsies. So, John?
I want to give it a 5 just because I know Kellen's going to shit on it. But no, it's a 4. I love it. And I think it was lame for them to try to make an anthology after 2 Michael Myers movies. But yeah, 4 out of 5. I love it.
Kellen? Art?
Yeah, the best Season of the Witch was Donovan. That's a music.
That's a great song.
Great song, fantastic song. That should have been included in this movie. It would have given this movie 1 more point, but
they didn't have the budget for that.
It's a 2.
It's like the fact that the song is based on the London Bridge is falling down is big. They didn't have anything in the budget for music.
Right.
All right, Vito.
2.5.
Fair. TJ, bring it home.
I'm really between a 3.5 and a 4, but over the years I have come to watch this every year now, and I think I've settled more into that 4 spot where I started at like a 0 20 years ago, and here I am at a 4. I mean,
Oh,
appreciation can happen
Sure,
over
it's
time.
not a 3.5.
I'm pretty sure it's not 3.5. I like
hold
this.
on. Wait a
I
second.
like this movie better than Wolverine versus Deadpool. How about
All right.
that?
Oh
That
my
is
God.
just some
You
terrible
just
thing to say.
discredited your
Hold on.
entire history.
Hold on.
I cannot
on.
stand behind that.
Hold on. TJ
Yeah.
and John, Mr. High Scorers over here, explain this to me. Because this is actually why it's fucking with me. Okay, so when Tom Atkins throws the fucking medallions of fucking Shamrocks in that room that seems to wipe out all the machines, why not Ellie? That's what's fucking with me. Explain that.
Was she still in the room with him?
Yeah, she was right next to the motherfucker. And those fucking and those androids were coming up the stairs to attack them, and they all fell down dead. How
That's
come
true.
she didn't fall down dead?
The medallions didn't touch the robots coming up the stairs, right?
No. They were running up the stairs. They threw it directly on the lab guys in the little room, and the circle had developed.
It's plot convenience. I don't know. I have no good explanation. It's silly.
Because
I
you
know.
needed her around for the twist ending.
But
Right.
that's
I
why
have-
it
I
fucks
have
with
no
me,
explanation,
TJ.
bro.
That's why I can't not. I have questions.
I'm
Need
not
the
saying
answer,
that it's
TJ.
a perfectly tied together good story. I'm
That's
saying it's
Must
fun.
be the season of the wind.
Same reason Chopping Mall's name Chopping Mall, and it's about robots with laser eyes. Like it doesn't have.
There's
to
no
make sense.
chopping.
You see how it fucks with me, but then like the Tom Atkins thing saves it.
Oh, I did
at
look
the
up,
end.
by the way, and the lady that gets the laser in the mouth was actually married to Tom Atkins for 9 years, and at the time of this movie.
That's sick. Fuck.
They definitely had a conversation when that shoot was over. All right, so that puts us at a 3.1. So 3 for Halloween. 3? What? Happy Halloween. This is Monday, but Halloween is this week. So have fun doing that. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to wherever you're listening to this podcast. To follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, and join our group on Facebook. Vito, thank you for hanging out with us again. Our Halloween tradition.
Thanks for having
we
me.
wanted to ask you about what you've been working on, whatever you can tell us about your project.
Well, I've been working on the newest trauma film called Power of Positive Murder. It is a film noir trauma film. So it's filmed in black and white, and it touches on kind of like a film noir quality. You know, it's got it touches all the bases. It's got like a little bit of Hitchcockian in there. It has like classic film noir characters, but still a trauma film. So it's kind of Lloyd, eating his cake and everything. He's kind of like, there's like one scene that's like, kind of like your ideal trauma film scenes, but then you have something else that's a little bit. You're like, wait, what am I watching? So
Did he write it, Lloyd, Uncle Lloyd?
Well, no, somebody else wrote it, but then Lloyd comes in, adds his flavors to things, just like anything. I mean,
Like getting hung with a boner.
Well, that was done in rehearsals. It was a whole different, man. I remember the rehearsal. He was like, I want to be rigged up. And then you see the producers' heads like go like this, like, you want to be rigged up? You want to be rigged and swinging. It was supposed to be like this thing where it was supposed to be a lot higher and out of the shot. It was something that was supposed to be alluded to, but then he wanted to be like in the middle of the scene. And then, so it was like, I remember the producers were there just like, okay, we need to, yeah, it's like,
Oh, you
here.
meant the guy hanging had a boner. I thought you meant he was hung with the length of it.
No. He's hanging from a noose, and he has it's Lloyd,
okay. I was like, that's some boner.
Yeah. So, I mean,
good
and
for him. That was a nice dick.
That scene's all over the place. So it's one of those things where, if anything, it's going to intrigue people to watch it. To be like, why does he have a boner? Why is he hanging himself? Why is there this?
Are we talking about David Carradine?
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like
autoerotic
David Carradine, right?
asphyxiation.
He was whacking it. He was whacking it. He just happens to have a boner. So
well, we look forward to seeing it. You look like a sexy Inspector Gadget in some of those photos you see. So
there's also like there's a lot of like trauma alum in the movie. I mean, you got Kate Eberson from and you got Debbie Rashawn. She's in there. Bill Whedon's in there. I mean, a lot of like I was like, wow.
And Jesse Flux, is that what she goes by?
Oh, Jessa.
Jessa,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jessa. Oh, she's great. I mean, like, most of my scenes were with her, and she's a throwback. I mean,
Yeah.
she's got. I mean, she plays a film noir femme fatale, but then is not afraid to get down and dirty and be funny. So, like, she's got like a lot of qualities. I mean, like, it's she was great to work with.
Any idea when it might come out?
I don't want to, it's like a jinx. It's a jinx. I don't want to say
We don't want
anything
to do
because
that.
I don't want to jinx it because then it's like, well, it's the year 2030, and now we'll be releasing The Power of Positive Murder.
I have a question. Does
Double
Kellen
feature
know
with
what
the new
film
Toxic
noir
Avenger
is?
remake.
Yeah.
Does Kellen know what film noir is?
Yes, TJ.
What is it?
Oh, that's
They
right,
explained-
because you
They
like
explained
old
it perfectly with Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse.
What is it?
Obviously, it's old
His name
school
is
black and
Spider
white,
Noir.
kind
What
of
is- what does
Maltese
noir
Falcon
mean?
kind of film.
What is
It's,
what does noir
wait.
mean?
detective.
What does
Kellen,
noir mean?
Kellen-
You can take a little bit from Who
What does
Framed
noir
Roger
mean?
Rabbit that inspired Eddie Valiant's character.
What
That
does
whole
noir mean?
Hold on, wait. Kellen knows
Dark.
his shit. He's just not a horror guy. He's a film guy. I can defend Kellen. He does
Thank
know
you,
movies.
John.
He really does.
I was just
That's not-
curious.
yeah.
I
I just
know
want
that
to put him on the
you
hot
know
seat.
old
I
movies.
just want to put him on the hot seat. Be like,
That's all right. All right. So signing off. Happy Halloween from us here at the Sanctum. I'm Jay with John, Kellen, TJ, and Vito Trigo. And until next time.
thank you.
For the love of God, on Halloween week, keep it spooky.
I have the steelbook of Halloween 3. I didn't show it.
Hey,
Oh,
Vito,
wow.
I'll be up in New York in
That's a nice
middle of
steelbook.
October, so I'll wave at you as I drive by heading towards Vermont.
What are you going to Vermont for?
We're taking our daughters on our state trips for the year. We're trying to hit all 50 states, and so we're doing the entire New England East Coast.
You're
So
gonna
we're
eat
driving up
cheese
to
in every
Niagara
state.
Falls. Huh?
You're gonna eat cheese in every state.
No, but we most of our trip is based around food. We're gonna get wings because we're gonna be in Buffalo, New York. So we're gonna go to Anchor Bar and get
Nice.
wings there. We're gonna get Philly cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. We're gonna
There you
get
go.
lobster rolls in Maine.
All the
They're going
best
to get
things.
diabetes in Vermont.
We're gonna get maple syrup, obviously.
You're like Clark Griswold right now. You're like, come on, guys.
He
We're
is.
going on a
He
vacation.
is. You do not know him like we do. He is. Like, he is that person. Like, and not to a fault or anything. Like, that's just him. Like,
No, it's just it sounds so like, come on, guys. We're going to go have some fucking fun.
let's go on an adventure. And then he just, like, farts a rainbow and goes flying to the sky holding his family in his arms. All right.
Oh.
Fun stuff.
I'm going to go eat dinner, guys. Vito, thank you again.
Same.
All right.
No
I gotta
problem.
go work at 4
Thumbs
a.m.
out.
I
Week
just
of
Good
cannot-
to see you again. As
What?
great content as always.
Kellen,
I just-
the new Halloween trilogy or Halloween 3?
Oh, Halloween 3, yeah. The new Halloween trilogy just pisses me off because
Are we still
it's
recording?
far off the rails.
Are we
Yeah,
still
but
recording?
we're gonna edit. I mean, we can cut.
All right.
You can say
Shut
whatever.
up, you son of a bitch. Shut the fuck up. How
Why
dare
would you? We want to be recording for content like that.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, fuck you, man.
It's so. The one thing they got right was throwing him in a wood chipper because they always leave room for the guy to come
Right.
back. Like they made sure there was no way Michael Myers comes back unless he's like a spirit, like the ghost of Michael Myers comes back. But other than that, that was the only redeeming quality. Is there?
I thought we would all love this movie. I am so surprised. I literally thought everybody would love this.
I just
love
had,
it.
I just had issues. I just had
Yeah.
issues. I didn't.
I hate. This is one of my favorite steelbooks. Like, it's beautiful, but
It's
like
awesome.
I got it at McKay's and it's got.
That will look so good when I throw it in the trash.
I don't dislike it as much as I dislike Halloween
You
Resurrection.
monster!
You know,
I'm
I like
glad you're bald,
Resurrection.
TJ.
TJ
I like
ruined.
Resurrection.
TJ ruined what you were saying, Vito. He ruined it forever.
I'm
forever.
sorry.
what? What'd you say?
He throws all his. Just tell him. Just tell him
Tell
what
him.
you do.
Go ahead.
I don't have room to keep cases for physical media anymore, so I throw away all the cases in the trash, and I
Like
just
he's a
put 'em-
teenage girl in high school listening to his CDs.
I put them in these large CD
And they're not
books
even
that hold over
organized.
100.
Don't cut this
wait a
out.
second,
They're not
hold on,
alphabetized. They're not
TJ.
organized.
Boo
by
this
genre.
man. Boo.
TJ, I can see your living room. You got some space in the corner right there. You got some space for some shelves above the.
Right, screw
Those
them
are
books.
space.
Those
No
are
one
for
needs
You got
books.
space.
Take them to Goodwill.
Why don't you just get a
Right.
man cave? Get a man cave and just wall
I
to
don't have
wall.
enough space for man cave. I have a garage that's not heated or cooled, and it's
What's
damp.
your Instagram handle, teacher?
I don't remember.
TJ Stone
I'm
84, something
hardly
like
ever
that.
on.
You'll find him on our page. Go and add him for not keeping movies like a monster.
Oh
All
my
right,
god.
boys,
I
I gotta
used
go.
to. I
gotta
just
go.
don't have
man.
room for it. All right.
I'm out.
Peace.
I'm outie.
Peace.